Why, if I'll just, as a student, just say I've
Yes.
come to you and I'll ask you, why Cumbria
Yes.
as a city? Then why Cumbria University?
Yes.
And then we'll talk further about it.
The University of Cumbria is one of the major universities in the UK.
What is the requirement for getting an admission into a business program?
So for the undergrad, you need the A-levels equivalent of 120 points. But for the latest update, our website will be the entry requirement will have the more specific one. Then you need the IELTS, for example, of 6.0, and then each band no lower than 5.5 for the undergrad, a 3-year program.
So do you restrict a student from any specific region of India? Because a lot of universities are doing it.
I think in the past we have. And I think at the moment we're always reviewing the cases. So we might have 1 or 2 regions, but because it's not because of the university, but because of the border control regulations or guidance. But we are always reviewing it, and we try to promote student mobility, definitely.
So as you are from business school, how do you want to explain or present yourself when it comes to a student? How the business school of Cumbria stand out?
Yeah, that's a really good question. Thank you. So in particular for University of Cumbria Business School, we pride ourselves in terms of the student experience. When you come to us, you're not 1 in 400, 1 in 200. Yeah, each professor will have a maximum of 30 students per class in the tutorial.
Okay, so what are the scholarship options available for South Asian students, if any?
Yes, we got several scholarships, but we have to be very truthful here as well. There are various scholarships of different value, but each applicant is only entitled to one of the highest value. We will always honor the highest value. The University of Cumbria has very strong educational roots, the ethics and the vision and the value. It is about the journey. It is not just about having a qualification.
Hello everyone, my name is Mudit Pandey and I'm the founder of My Admission Card and president of Sevi Foundation. And I'm back here again with our talk series, Talk to University, and brought a very good university of UK for you, University of Cumbria. And I'm glad and honored to have Dr. Ray from Business School of University of Cumbria here today. Thank you. Hi sir, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
So how was your journey to India?
My journey was long, but was tiring, but I love the hospitality and the vibrancy of Delhi. Thank you.
What about the summer? This time it's extreme.
It is extremely here, but I often describe it as jumping from the frying pan into the sizzling cauldron. We have the heat wave back in the UK, but it's nothing like here. But the warmth of the people is just exceptional.
So how was the temperature as a heat wave there?
Oh, well, I think anything above 24 degrees Celsius, you call it a heat wave back in the UK.
That's not even the night temperature. It's in 28.
Absolutely, yeah. It's really good to be back here.
So what are the precautions that you are taking while traveling to India? You might have visited the NHS and they might have suggested you something.
With stay in the shade, keep plenty of hydration, keep cool. Yes, absolutely, and have lighter meals, definitely.
So what about the capital of India?
The capital? Oh, I think one has got to be in Delhi to experience and understand. You can't understand until you've been. The vibrancy is just incredible.
That's great. So I'll just tell you the format of our show. So in our show, a delegate like you come directly from the university. So the students get the transparent information straight away from you.
Yep.
And we all have heard about Cumbria University. I've covered an episode with Cumbria University, and I'm proud and again said honored to have those information that is on one of the UNESCO heritage site, and it's a very safe city and a vibrant city. But can you just enhance and enlighten our knowledge more about it? Why, if I'll just, as a student, just say I'll come to you and I'll ask you, why Cumbria as a city? Then why Cumbria University?
Yes.
And then we'll talk further about it.
Absolutely. And thank you for having me on the show. The University of Cumbria is one of the major universities in the UK. But at least there are 100 over UK universities. But why Cumbria? We pride ourselves as one of the small, medium-sized universities. So in Cumbria, it's student-friendly. We're spread across various campuses. And we'll talk about this student experience. So when you come to University of Cumbria, we have a module leader, a program leader, and a personal tutor. And we make sure that we get in touch with the students at least twice a semester. And it's not about hiding, it's about nurturing. It's about stretching the horizon. The University of Cumbria has very strong educational roots, the ethics and the vision and the value. It is about the journey. It is not just about having a qualification. So why University of Cumbria? Because we believe in the student. We want to walk that journey with the student. As an academic, as a professor, nothing is more rewarding than seeing a student on day one, how nervous or how excited they can be. And then when they finish at graduation, the pride, the joy in their faces and their parents is just incredible.
Okay, so how old is Cumbria University?
The Cumbria, as a university, is less than 20 years old, but it's an amalgamation of 3 old institutes.
Okay.
There is more than 165 years of history. Absolutely. So the ethics of higher education has been deeply embedded within the whole university as a whole.
So if we talk about London, how far is it from London?
It is about less than 2 hours from our Lancaster campus and maybe 2.5 from the further northern campuses.
Okay, so you have 2 campuses. One is in Lancaster, and another one is in...
We have about 5 campuses in total. London as a satellite campus, and we have Lancaster as the main where the business school is based, and nursing is based in Lancaster and Carlisle, and sports management we have it in Ambleside UNESCO site.
So
Outdoor
sports
study.
management is also one of the courses that you
Yes,
provide?
we have that as well. Yes, so it's all across the northwest campuses and also in our London
So
campus.
Lancaster is anyway the hub for the business management courses.
Yes,
How do you stand out yourself in the other competition?
yes, absolutely. So it's very much the same as all the big universities, that where there is the university of the city and then the university. We pride ourselves as the application, the applied and the practice. So yes, we're a research-informed teaching university, but we really value the application of the real-life experience for the students. So for example, we just don't teach core textbook theory. We want to apply real-life case studies to what's happening. So we use the latest case studies on what's happening in the AI world, what's happening to manufacturing, what's happening to fuel, the economy as a result of the Ukraine conflict and the result of what's happening in Iran at the moment, and the repercussions of the global impact between the various big countries. We use that within our teaching to make sure the students get the most out of that. And when they go and find a job, they're more employable and they have the transferable skills. We do not just ask them to write 4,000-word essay. It is not just so relevant anymore. They need to make a vlog, they need to use digital portfolio, they need to use presentations to pitch their plans. So that's what we pride ourselves in, to make sure that the students not just get a qualification, but they get the real life experience of the qualification.
So what is the diversity of the campus? How about the diversity?
We have a very strong sort of spectrum community. So we have students coming from all around the world. We have staff that's come from all around the world. We've got Italian lecturers, Canadian professors. I myself was born and bred in Singapore and now lived in the UK for more than 20 over years. So we do understand where the students, how they settle, how they transit, and what do we need to do to support them to make sure they have a really good student experience with us.
So what about the EEF ranking? Where do you stand?
We were very proud to have silver as our TEF framework. We are always looking to improve on that, and that's just going to show that we moved from bronze a few years ago to silver. And again, that is a real reflection of the ethos and the values of the university.
Okay, so what are the famous courses that you see, like the maximum number of students are coming from? Like if we talk about India as a market,
Okay.
so what is the biggest course of yours in campus
So,
for India?
So at the moment, the MSc, Master of Science in International Management, is one of the flagship for a particular Indian market. Yes, yeah.
Back in 2006.
Oh yeah. So it is very applicable. It is very flexible, and it is broad enough to give you the wide sort of pillars of knowledge of business, but it gives you the flexibility to really focus and specialize in particular your choice or expertise or your passion. So now with data analytics or business analytics or AI, how you want to embed that in HR, operations management, marketing, and that gives you the flexibility and the credibility to really specialize in that. And where do you go from there? we cannot future-proof all degrees, we cannot future-proof your career, but want to ensure that you're ahead of your peers or the competitors out there.
So what are the requirements for the Indian students if we talk about specifically Indian, Pakistani, Bangladeshi, Nepali, and overall, what is the requirement for getting an admission into a business program?
So for the undergrad, you need the A-levels equivalent of 120 points, but for the latest update, our website will be the entry requirement will have the more specific one. Then you need the IELTS, for example, of 6.0, and then each band no lower than 5.5 for the undergrad, a 3-year program. For the postgrad, you need an honors equivalent degree, so the BCom and a bit of relevant work experience. That's highly recommended. And then also make sure that the SOP or statement is really relevant to the course and how you want to progress in your career. And the IELTS is a little bit higher because we would expect that of international sort of applicants. But in particular, my experience with the, in particular, South Asia and Indian market, I think the English is very good. Yeah, but it's really just a certification. It's not an issue. The IELTS is 6.5, each band no lower than 5.5.
So is there an IELTS waiver also available for students?
Not at the moment, but things are changing. It's very quite a fluid situation. So do check on our website on the entry requirement for any latest changes.
Okay. So do you restrict the student from any specific region of India? Because a lot of universities are doing it.
I think in the past we have. And I think at the moment we're always reviewing the cases. So we might have 1 or 2 regions, but because it's not because of the university, but because of the border control regulations or guidance. But we are always reviewing it, and we try to promote student mobility, definitely.
Okay. So as you are from business school, how do you want to explain or present yourself when it comes to a student? How Business School of Cumbria stand out?
Yeah, that's a really good question. Thank you. So in particular for University of Cumbria Business School, we pride ourselves in terms of the student experience. When you come to us, you're not 1 in 400, 1 in 200. Yeah, each professor will have a maximum of 30 students per class in the tutorial. So when you come to MSc International Management, we may have 60 students. You're taught in a big lecture room for a main lecture. Then you're split into 2 different tutorial classes. So we get to know the students individually. So I think that's a real value in the staff-student ratio, that each professor will know you by name, will be able to discuss and analyze the case studies, have some sort of interesting debates on the case studies, and challenge the theory, because the textbook are Anglo-American perspective. But as we know, when it apply back to Asia, South Asia, East Asia, there is a different dimension that is not mentioned in the textbook. So we want you to be the leader of tomorrow, to the business thinker of tomorrow. We want you to challenge that. So we have the conversation. I think that's a real key point at the University of Cumbria Business School. We do value that, and we want to bring that out. So when you do the assessment, it is not just writing a typical case study on IKEA, a typical case study of a Mercedes. We want you to contextualize it into the kind of case study that is applicable to your potential work. So eventually the employability, a high percentage will be, you have the basic structure framework, you're able to apply that and take it as a springboard platform to your next step in your career.
Okay. So, what are the scholarship options available for South Asian students, if any?
Yes, we got several scholarships, but we have to be very truthful here as well. There are various scholarships of different value, but each applicant is only entitled to one of the highest value. We will always honor the highest value. So at the moment, we got the scholarship for South Asia applicants. That is a straightforward one. The numbers change. So this year we know there is about 1,500, but it fluctuates according to which intake. So next year when you apply for January or September, do check on the website for the exact figures. Then we also got the merit scholarship that's based on your grades, and that is a higher value, definitely. So between the two, you get one, but if you get a higher value, we'll honor the higher value scholarship.
What kind of amount is that?
I think it's currently for this year is £2,500. Yeah, for this year. But next year it might fluctuate, so I would suggest.
Okay, so the best thing is to keep on checking.
Yes, but we do have 2 scholarships per year, but it's the highest value that will be applicable, but you need to apply for it as well.
So if we talk about your sports management program, So like because it's one of the famous program in India, a lot of students are getting interested in it. What are the further job opportunities available in sports management?
So we have many sports management students who do sports management and then come and do a top up, get an MSc International Management or get MBA to get their sort of a business aptitude. So a lot of the graduates continue then to become to train to be sports injury therapists, whether it's their own business, their own clinics, or as an attachment into one of the gyms. So as we know, the industry of the gym is booming everywhere. I can see it in Delhi here, I can see it all. Yes, and it's 24/7, 24/7 now. But then that means also during your workout, there are a lot of injuries that comes with it, or even therapy. So the sports management will train, will support that, and work with each client individually. So that's a very popular route at the moment, I would say, in the UK.
Okay. So what about safety and security and accommodation availability when Cumbria comes? Like I'm
Yes.
talking about the Lancaster campus currently because we
Yeah.
are discussing about business.
Yeah.
So do you have your own accommodation? If not, how do you help the students
Yes.
with the accommodation?
We're very-
because accommodation is a big issue in UK. in the
Yes,
last 2 years.
yes. So therefore, going back to, we have really valued the student experience. We do not recruit students that we cannot accommodate. Yeah, that's impossible for us. So we have on-site accommodation. So if your class is at 9 o'clock, you can literally wake up 10 minutes before, roll out of bed and roll downstairs, you're in your classroom. So we've got two sort of set campuses on halls of residence on site, and every first year student, whether in the undergrad or the postgrad, your first year you have guaranteed accommodation with the university on campus. In terms of safety, we have the main reception, but we also have the 24/7 security. I've been in University of Cumbria for the last 15 years. I've never heard of any security issues. It is a very student-friendly city. We are also only 15 minutes walking distance away from the city centre, so you don't have to take public transport. Even if it's bad weather, you could walk in 15 minutes, and it's very accessible. It's very student friendly. It's very multicultural in terms of food. If you want to cook for yourself, the local supermarket, from the smaller supermarket to the larger supermarket, they have international foods, world foods from South Asia to East Asia, condiments and ingredients. They also have halal sections for students with more dietary requirements. Yes, there's a really good selection. In terms of spices, very often my South Asian students talk about, they bought on fish and chips now, they bought on pizzas now. Where can they? Yeah, if you cook, there are a lot of ingredients that you can get. But at the same time, there are a lot of eateries. From the East Asian eateries, from Chinese, Japanese, Korean, all the way now because of the rise of K-pop, K-drama, there's a lot of Korean eateries, to really good curry houses. It may not be as authentic as mom's cooking, but it does meet a certain level. And of course, you have the good old pub food, the fish and chips, the pies, the mash, for example. It's all there. So it's got a wide spectrum. It's a really good and safe place for international students to enjoy life in the UK as a student.
Okay, so when we talk about look, the major things are kind of sorted, but every second student wants to know, does this university take an interview or not?
Yes.
As a part of the admission process.
Okay, for the business courses, we do not require an interview at this stage. But for the MBA, which is work experience required, so if you're on the borderline, so the MBA, you need to have a 2-2 honors degree, you need to have relevant 2 years work experience. But if your work experience is shy of 2 years, so 22 months, for example, and if you have a team leader experience of a lot of that, but not quite there yet, and it's not clear in your statement, then we do have a sort of interview to make sure that you will be enjoying the course. The last thing we want to do is to put a student in a classroom where the student is not at the right level, and we prefer to put the student on the MSc where it's more academic rather than applied course itself. So it is not just about the university choosing the student, it's about the student choosing the right course that will enjoy the whole student experience to make sure that they can bloom to the fullest of their capability. Yeah.
Okay. So when we talk about SOP, and LOR, are they part of the process?
Yes, the SOP must reflect the application, so it shouldn't be written by AI. It shouldn't be, mass produced for 20 over applications, because you want to make sure that you really understand the kind of institution you're applying for. Because remember, this is a big investment, not just of your own time, of your own life, but resources from the whole family as well. And when I tell my students, this is the most indulgent time, the transformative years of a young adult. In the 20s, presumably, going into further education, a higher education, and you use that time to really transform. At the end of the 1 year graduation, when you turn back and say, wow, what a transformation year it's been, and where do you go next? And in the kind of resilience that you gain from it, in the late night studying and you just reflective process, the pennies drop. And when you hit a tough deadline with your employer one day, you're able to turn right. You know what? I've done it before. I can do it again. That's what we want in our students.
Okay, so talking about the placement records.
Yes.
Yeah, so where does it stand? Where does the Cumbria stand? When we talk about numbers, giving it a fixed number.
Yeah, so we do have placement or intern opportunities. We don't guarantee that, but we do have that. So we work in collaboration with the student.
Okay.
So during the summer months or at the end of graduation, we have a careers office, as well as we have an academic team that support you in looking at the right kind of placement. Because at the end of the day, what's really important for us is not just you graduating and get a degree. Graduating, get the degree, and get a job that's related to your degree, right? So that's really important for us. We want you to get a graduate job. At the University of Cumbria, we're very proud to say we're in the 93% and above in terms of employability. And we want to make sure that you're choosing the right kind of degree and the right kind of career. The last thing we want to do is to have students who get a good degree but not getting kind of jobs that are related to a degree. There's a real shame of the investment. We really value that, yes.
Okay, so talking about the business school once again, every business school holds very important role of alumni.
Yes.
So how do you see it? Is it really actually very important for any university to have a very strong alumni? And if you have, how do you see it for helping the future students?
Yes, that's a really, really valuable resource that we use. Successful students are the natural voice of the university. So we're very proud to have a very strong alumni. I think we're in the region of 9,000 alumni on the business school, because we have a very strong online presence, and they come from all across the world. They're all connected via LinkedIn, for example, on social media. The way they promote and talk about it, I think, is exceptional. And one of the measurement of that is the Hitachi survey on the alumni becoming managing directors or entrepreneurs. We score highly ranked in that one, and that's on our website. The statistics are there, and of course these are taken from surveys of our existing alumni. So that's a really powerful one to share.
So what's the tuition fees range?
The tuition
undergrad and postgrad.
So currently,
businessmen?
So currently at with the year 2026, so it will fluctuate according to inflation. So our MBA is pitched at about £17,500 per year full time, and our MSc is around the region of £16,000.
Is it £2,500 scholarship also available on top of that?
Yes. So if applicable, then you take on that is the published price. So there will be a scholarship. Yes, absolutely. For the moment, for 2026.
That's quite an affordable university than Cumbria is.
Yes, absolutely. We really value on the student journey.
So in comparison to London, how cheap is the Lancaster?
A good example would be, for example, accommodation. 1 week accommodation per week at the moment in Lancaster is in the region of £120.
That's just half of it.
So
less than half.
Yes, less than half. So average, as of Saturday, we just checked, it's about 260, 280, depending on the size of the room as well, whether you share facilities or not. Yes.
London is normally, I think, if you're sharing it with someone, then it comes around 220 or something.
Slightly in that region. Yes.
London is quite expensive.
Yes.
But at the same time, London do offers a lot of part-time jobs opportunity.
Yes.
Does Cumbria has that?
Well,
or the student even get a chance because of the education load on himself when it comes to the Lancaster, which is an education hub. Did he get a chance to?
Yes, of course. That's a really good comparison. London and Lancaster, or the greater region. the more distraction there are, it takes you away from your studies. Yeah. So in Lancaster, yes, we do have temporary jobs. We do have those as restricted for international students, but because it's not a career job, so there are opportunities, but it means you can concentrate on your studies as well. So there will be opportunities to work. A lot of my students at the moment in the dissertation stage are working because they are not attending as many structured classes. They are working within the required hours of the international student visa quota, so they can do that, and they're quite successful, and they are able to find really good opportunities. And I have also seen successful students who finish their casual work and upon completion go on to take a permanent work in the same company but of a different job, a different level of the graduate job, but in the same company, because they build the reputation. The employees know they're reliable. Yeah, and they not just reliable, but they work with integrity. That's what we like.
Okay. So do you have a placement year also? Like a lot of universities do 2 years MSc. One is a placement year, one extra year.
So
is that something do you have, or is just a 1 year MSc that?
At the moment, it's a 1 year MSc. We can look forward to thinking and reviewing that, but it's in the pipeline. But there is also the opportunity of finishing the MSc and doing the getting the not just a placement, the actual full-time work at the moment.
So is that true that it's on there on the internet that the PSW visa has been reduced to 18 months?
Yes, I think it's quite factual that it's something out of our control. It's related to the UK government, so we are following the guidance from there.
And what about the visa thing? I hope it's still getting quite well.
Well, I think it's quite an international situation. Again, it is outside our control, but I think it's called according to different regions with the different requirements and the guidance and the restrictions that comes with it. But we are supporting applicants, successful and genuine applicants through the CAS process. We will support them as long as it takes for them to get to us.
Okay. So any message you want to give it to the students today who are listening to you?
I would like to say that, look, if you're really genuine about your studies, you want a really good enhanced student experience. You don't want to be one of the thousands or hundreds. Yeah, University of Cumbria is the place for you. It's a safe place to nurture. So would you want to be a small fish in a big ocean lost, or would you like to be a significant fish in a medium-sized lake? That's for us to think about, and that's for you to think about. The last thing we want to do is to misinterpret any information. So we want you to have a really good student experience. We don't want you to come and say, oh, this is not what I've been seeing on the brochure, and this is not the right kind of degree I was thinking for. That will be recruiting without integrity, and that would be detrimental to the reputation of the university.
Thank you, Dr. Ray. I'm in complete support to it, and I supplement the same that if it's a smaller classroom with few number of students, the concentration of the teacher is also again very good, and the students' learning enhanced.
Absolutely.
So thanks a lot, Dr. Ray, for coming to our show today.
You're welcome.
We hope to see you soon again.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me. Thank you very much. Hello, I'm Dr. Ray Ng. I'm the Associate Professor of International Business, and thank you to Mudet for the kind invitation. I have a message for all of you. Say no to suicide for the Seventh Foundation. You are important and you are valuable in life. You bring joy and you bring happiness to everyone around you. It is not a dark place that you want to take alone. Speak to anyone. Speak to family, friends, receptionists, anyone in the street. Don't have dark thoughts. Don't share it. A burden shared is a burden half. So say no to suicide. Thank you.